My name is Daniel. I'm 17. I live in Winsted, Connecticut. I was living with my father. I was supposed to be getting hormones for testosterone to start transitioning to male officially, and my father refused. And after that, I was a lot more distant from my father, a lot more depressed. My father was getting much more aggressive and unhappy with me transitioning. The final pushing point was that my dad was considering putting me into conversion therapy. But that was around the time I met Melissa, and I was able to rant to her about how unhappy I was with that, helping me realize that I deserved to have a better home than that, and that I could have a better home with my mother.
My name is Melissa. I am 28 and I live in Middletown, Connecticut. True Colors is an LGBTQ safe organization out of Hartford, Connecticut, and it looks to connect LGBTQ youth with role models.
The DCF workers that I was with decided that True Colors would be a perfect opportunity for me to meet other LGBT people and just be out instead of locked inside my house all day. I'd been waiting almost half a year to find a mentor, and I was kind of losing hope that I would have a mentor.
We met up at one of the events and he immediately kind of attached himself to my hip, and then we were kind of like a mentor match made in heaven.
And I did notice her septum piercing at first, and I was like, that's awesome. And it was the awkwardest thing where I did go up and say, hey, I like your face. Your face is good.
I think he gravitated towards me because I present myself in a certain way. I think he trusted me pretty quickly and I really appreciated that. Even just from that first meeting, like it was more of a feeling than something I can put into words. It was just like, okay, I got this. This kid, like I see some of myself in him and I feel like I could be good.
Garbage is you have the J and then you have 1 through 10 lined up and then you have them flipped over. And then as you look through the cards, each person has a turn. And then each person will like pick a card, and then you know what's on the other side of the cards. You pick a card, and then if you have a match, you take that card. And then whoever has like 0 cards and then their garbage pile is filled up wins, supposedly.
So do you know how to play Go Fish? Do you remember how to set it up? Or do you want me to walk you through it?
Yeah, walk me through it.
Whether it was with my, sexual orientation, my gender identity, I never really had a queer person to look up to. I was very much figuring out on my own. So if I can be that mentor that I wish I had, then I feel like I've done my part.
These are my 2 pronoun and representation buttons. This one just says trans boy, and it's just to let people know that that's what I am. And then my pronouns button is to help people when I'm in situations where there are not a lot of trans people or other LGBT people to understand that those are my pronouns and that is what I prefer to be called and addressed by.
Daniel is a trans boy, but he tends to want to present feminine sometimes, and that's something that he really struggles with because everyone is, no, well, if you're a boy, then why are you wearing floral pants? And it's because they're clothes. It doesn't matter.
I decided that I just didn't really care what other people thought about how I dressed or how I acted, so I just wore whatever I wanted, and I was still a boy.
I mean, I know what it's like to be one gender and not necessarily want to present that way. When I dress up for work, I wear a suit and tie. I don't wear a pencil skirt. And so I think that's helped him see that you can be who you are. It doesn't matter what they say. So what do you want to put in this journal?
We talked about the drag show stuff, so we can put that in there.
And make a list of items that we'd like to get you.
Yeah.
You want to write like big letters, like what your goal is?
So participate in the drag show?
Yep. As like your ultimate goal. Like circle it. Put stars around it.
Give me that yellow.
Yeah. I would just start making like bullet points. Mm-hmm. So the first thing we want to do,
With lessons or makeup? Do we want to do makeup or lessons first?
Yeah, let's just write research lessons. With the program, you do kind of have required hangouts, but I don't really pay too much attention to the requirements because it happens naturally and I do it anyways.
Most of the time we come to True Colors events, anything. I always tell her that I'll go to anything, anywhere, at any time. Because I love getting out of the house, but what we frequently do is we either drive around or go to Dunkin' Donuts. Sometimes we'll just go hiking.
A lot of times I'll just pick him up and we'll get Dunkin' Donuts and we'll drive around his town and just talk.
And I can talk to her about basically everything without having to worry about her flipping off the handle or like trying to fix it without my consent or letting me give like a chance to fix it on my own.
There's a lot of things that we talk about that are not the most uplifting, but we've both been through some things, we're both going through some things, and we don't make it so serious that it's debilitating. It's something that we can kind of laugh about and make jokes, but we know that it's just how we cope. So one thing I know we talked about was exploring the outdoors in Connecticut. I want to bring you down to the coast. Definitely Pride Parade.
Yes.
Yeah, so all the Pride. I believe there's going to be one in Hartford. You just wrote Pride everything. Perfect. Oh yeah, I want to have a celebration with your top surgery.
Oh yeah, yeah. Definitely. Like it's a boy.
Yeah.
I appreciate that you do push me out of my comfort zone and that I just get to go out and experience a lot of new things and a lot of new places in the world and just get to grow as a person because you're awesome.
Same. So yesterday was the Trans Day of Visibility, and today in downtown Hartford, they are holding a trans rights rally. To be able to take Daniel to events like this, it feels pretty good. He lives a good hour away from downtown Hartford, and that's where a lot of the events go on that are very relevant to his life. And I love that I have the opportunity to make that extra drive, pick him up, bring him to the place that he's going to be with like-minded people and feel safe and accepted and be able to stand up for his rights.
Without Melissa, I really would not have been able to go to anything or go out and meet other people like me or just participate anything in my community at all. It really has spread my world out from just Torrington or Winstead to so many other places. I think if I'd never met Melissa, I would still be probably at my dad's house, probably miserable and probably just in a very unhealthy and unhappy place. And I don't know, it's almost sad trying to think about where my life would be at without Melissa helping me.
I almost feel like I get another chance to talk to myself from when I was 17, and he's just a really great kid.
I don't have a lot of people that I think of myself as very special to. And I don't know, it's just for me as a person, I don't see myself as very special. And just, it's always shocking when people are like, oh God, he's so important to me. And I'm like, really? I'm barely important to me.